How's it going, everyone? This is Marco at Tech, and in this video we're making a review on the Logitech G920. This is a racing wheel with a pedals as well, and I figured let me make a review and talk about it while I am driving American Truck Simulator. This is the reason why I got this wheel, was specifically for American Truck Simulator, and I figured let's talk about it, go over my favorite features, things I don't like, while I'm actually driving it. So right now we are in Barstow, California, and we are going to be picking up a trailer of packaged food, and we're going to be taking that to Fresno. So we got our trailer right here. It's actually pretty cool. It's got 3 axles on it. It's a pretty serious load. I am going to be showing you mainly the wheel today. The wheel cam is what you're seeing right here. I'm not going to show you the pedals. There's not a ton to them, and I'm mainly focusing on the wheel because that is the most important feature with this kit. So I will talk about the pedals just a little bit, but mainly this review is focused on just the wheel. So let's go ahead and hook up our trailer, and I will talk about the wheel once we set off on our trip. So just go ahead and line this up. This is actually our second video about American Truck Simulator. We did make just a normal gameplay video a little while ago, and it wasn't terribly exciting for you guys. It wasn't something that a lot of people watched, but I figured I want to play this some more, and I will be using the steering wheel as an excuse to play some more. So take the parking brake off, put this in drive, and let's take a look on the outside real quick. Looks pretty cool. Alright, let's hop back inside, and we'll be on our way with 41,000 pounds of packaged food. So first and foremost, the reason why I picked this wheel over any other wheel was because of the fact that you can turn the wheel 900 degrees in rotation. I wasn't looking to spend a ton of money when it came to purchasing a wheel, but the ones that I was looking at all had a bungee cord system to them, and that bungee cord system limited the amount that you could actually turn the wheel. You could really only turn it 90 degrees or a quarter of a rotation. This one can do 900 degrees, so you can turn it one way around and then another quarter way. And the really cool thing about that is that with American Truck Simulator like this, you can actually see how the wheel, can you let me over, bud? There we go. The wheel in the game matches real time to the wheel in person, which is really awesome. So it follows exactly what I'm doing. Before, if you would have got a 90-degree rotation wheel, you would turn it this way, and you have to keep holding it there, waiting for the game to actually catch up, similar to a controller or a keyboard. So that would be no fun. Another cool thing is that because this is a more advanced system, it has dual motors on it, so you can get a much more realistic feel. This is great for racing games, not necessarily American Truck Simulator, but racing games where you are going around a corner, you can feel the resistance from the wheel, which is really awesome. If you spin out, the wheel automatically takes over for you, and it will actually spin on its own if you don't hold it in place. There's resistance and force with this force feedback, which is really cool. So I like that a lot about this. For the sake of audio in this video, I did disable force feedback when it comes to engine noises. You can enable that, and it's pretty cool with force feedback on the engine. The sounds of the engine, the like rumble and shake the truck, that will actually shake the wheel, so the wheel will be rattling a little bit with the sound of the truck. There's also a bunch of other force feedback options inside of American Truck Simulator. We got our road, the shaking of the road. If you go over a speed bump, it'll shake the steering wheel just like a real car. It's really awesome. It has a level of realism that I really enjoy. Now let me talk briefly about the pedals. These have 3 pedals. You have your acceleration, your brake, and your clutch. I'm driving an automatic truck right now because I don't have a shifter. They do sell a 6-speed shifter for an additional $50–$60, but I didn't get that, so I don't use the clutch. This is automatic. I have paddle shifters right here, which I use in some games. I use it this time for my turn signals. But speaking of the pedals, the clutch is okay. It creaks a little bit. I don't use it much. The acceleration is pretty good. I love the gas pedal. The brake, unfortunately, is the biggest point of issue for me. As you've probably seen other reviews talk about, it has a non-linear braking, which means that it feels realistic somewhat. It's hard to press, but it also makes it hard to press. So you really have to lay on the brake if you want to stop at all. It's a little annoying and a little bit hard. It's more pressure than I would feel would be necessary to bring this truck to a stop. And especially on racing games, you really have to lay on that brake in order to stop at all. It is nice, you don't want to lock up the wheels, but in times like this, just pressing it until you feel resistance isn't really going to stop you at all. It's not that great. You can take it apart and you can remove a rubber stopper inside of the spring. I haven't done that. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Luckily, most games that I've tried do have some sort of curve that you can adjust for braking, so you can change the amount of force applied to generate a certain amount of braking in the game. And I found that in most cases that works pretty well for me. Let me get over here. So I'm not a big fan of the braking, but you can change that, luckily, most cases in the game settings. So there's 2 versions of this wheel. There's the 920, which I have right here. Let me get over, let you over. Always treat drivers how you want to be treated. Sometimes people don't let me over. I try to be nice and let people over. So there we go. Anyway, Tesla's driving slow, so going past them anyway. So I was saying there's 2 versions. I have the 920 and there's the 29. The 29 works on PS4 and PC, where the 920 works on Xbox One and PC. So the Xbox and PC version is about $10 more expensive and has less buttons. But I picked this one mainly because it has the A, B, X, Y, which is same as my Xbox controller that I use on my PC. So that's the main reason why. But they should all work, and there should really be not much of a difference. So we got some tumbleweed. That's cool. I've never actually seen a tumbleweed in person. I've been to Arizona a lot, but we're actually in California, so that's interesting. So there's several buttons on here. Whoa, we are speeding. Get a little engine brake there. You can hear that. This is a quiet engine brake, not a lot to it. So we have our paddle shifters. They are very clicky. You can hear that. They sound really nice, and it's great for racing games as well. We have our D-pad up here. You may want to map this differently than a traditional D-pad on your controller. I don't have any IR tracking currently set up on my setup, so if I want to look around I have to use my mouse, but you can change that on your D-pad to look left, right, up and down, and that sort of stuff. Then we have all of our traditional Xbox controllers over here, and your 4 buttons and everything, so that's very similar. We got our view, got our pause button, we got LSB and RSB. These are your stick buttons, so if you were to press down on those sticks you would get those same actions. We got our Xbox button. I wish this was an actual horn. It's not a button though, but that would be cool. So that's pretty much it for the controls on the PS4 version. You know, these are different. These 2 are a little bit different. We get a wheel. The wheel is actually pretty cool. I would have liked that, but I went more with compatibility than features. So that's okay. Not a problem. As you saw back there, I went off the road because I forgot and I was not expecting the amount of force that you have to apply. When you're going at low speeds or you're stopped, the wheel's really easy to turn, but when you're at higher speeds, you do have to put a little bit more force and pressure on the wheel in order to get it to turn. It's really awesome. So right now I'm applying a decent amount of force, pushing it as far as I possibly can on the brake without actually laying on it. And we eventually come to a stop. Now, if I want to stop fast, I really do have to push on the brake hard. Let's try that here. Yeah, that was a lot of force I had to push on there, but it did come to a stop eventually. I haven't yet tinkered with the brake settings and curves on this American Truck Simulator. I have done so on Forza and Beam and G Drive, so those ones I have played with, and it seems to be working a little bit better. I haven't done anything yet on American Truck Simulator, but so yeah, that is pretty much it for the wheel. Construction is really great. We've got anodized aluminum on here. The paddle shifters as well as the pedals are stainless steel, and the steering wheel is handmade and hand wrapped with real leather. So it's a very nice, comfortable experience. This is a fairly small wheel. It's not very realistic when it comes to size, but it is very nice. I like the small size of it though. And if you are racing, we do have the option up here for, you know, actually knowing which way is up, if, you know, that matters to you at all. So that is pretty much it for the wheel.
Go straight.
Previously, before getting this, I was actually looking into getting the Thrustmaster. It was like the Spider Ferrari wheel, but that one didn't have force feedback, and it had the bungee system where you could only turn it 90 degrees, that far. For this one, I love it because you can turn all the way to here. That is really awesome, and it's great for, especially American Truck Simulator, when you want to crank the wheel and get the truck in a tight space. It's great for rapidly changing direction when backing up, and I really like that about this wheel. I'm definitely glad I got this one over the cheaper bungee system. It is about 3 times the price. The Thrustmaster one, I believe, was around $70, $80. There's a little bit higher end model for about $100. This one, I believe, is like some crazy price, like $350, $400, typically on sale for $300, and then when I got it, it was on sale for $215. Just cut in front of me like that. So anyway, this was about $218 is how much I spent. It was like $205 for the PS4 version, and the 6-speed shifter is currently on sale for about $50. So it is somewhat of an investment in this equipment, but it's actually not as horribly priced as I was expecting. So that's nice. And, you know, there's a lot of applications for this. I am not the traditional sense of a gamer, you know, like the shooting, killing people, that sort of stuff. I love simulation, single-player simulation games. So sorry about that. The game froze there for a couple seconds. So anyway, I don't remember what I was talking about. So no problem with that. What games I plan to be using with this? Well, like I said, I am not a multiplayer type of person. I like single player simulation games, so I plan on using this wheel on American Truck Simulator. I got Forza, that one's going to be single player as well. I think Farming Simulator, I have that one. I have Beam and G Drive. That one's a fun one. It's a lot of realistic driving and real physics simulation. So that one's a good time as well. Let's see, I have Grand Theft Auto 5. That one does not have wheel support, but there are mods for it. So I could always add that support later if I want to. And that's, I think that's pretty much what I plan on using with this wheel. The one complaint I have about this wheel is the mounting mechanism. If you are going all out, you can mount the pedals, the wheel, and the shifter on a cage of sorts. I'm not at that stage yet, so I'm just using the carpet spikes that are on the pedals, and it works pretty good. I apply a ton of force to that brake pedal and no movement at all or tipping at all on the pedal set, so it's pretty sturdy. The wheel, on the other hand, has two clamps on each side that you adjust up here, and attached to your desk you can tighten them down. The only problem is that they don't open far enough. So I wanted to attach it to my desk. It's about 1.5 inches thick. It's from IKEA, which is a standard table. But I could not get them to actually fit. It was just so close to fitting, but it did not. So I'm actually putting it on my monitor stand. It's a little bit farther away, but it still works fine. So keep in mind that you may need to figure some alternate source of mounting if you plan on putting this on your desk and it's too thick. So that's that. We are coming up here, 25 minutes to go, getting pretty close. Still good on gas though. And when it comes to parking this thing, it is very fun and much easier to park with this wheel. You'll see the wheel flying around as I attempt to park this truck, and it's a lot easier because you can crank it a lot faster than you could on a controller. So that's always really great. I'm a big fan of the wheel. Price isn't as horrible as I was expecting with some of Thrustmaster's other products out there, and it's actually a pretty decent deal. So if you're looking into getting a wheel, this is a really great option. I am not a fan of the bungee systems for the reasons I stated previously with not being able to turn it all the way. If that's not an issue for you, then certainly that's worth considering. But I feel like this is the cheapest price point that you can get a high quality wheel that, you know, will allow you to turn it 900 degrees, has the force feedback and everything. This is like the cheapest price point to get into, but it's also worth it. I feel like this is a great option to go with. So yeah, links will be down below if you want to pick this up. And yeah, this is probably the longest review we've ever made on anything. So that's fun. Enough of the wheel. Let's go ahead and try to park this thing. We'll be pulling in here. Gotta cut it a little bit wide so we don't.
This is where it ends.
Hit anything, and we'll stop. Let's figure out where we want to park this. Yeah, we can try there. Okay, so I say we should go around this way. I'm not sure. We will see. Oh, and another cool thing about the force feedback is that, you know, it's like a real car. You let go, it comes right back to the center. That's really awesome, just like a real car. And I really like that a lot about this. So, yeah, that's another thing. Okay, so we will be coming up here. And let's see. How are we going to do this? So you come here. And we will crank it this way. And there we go. Let's take a look at the outside real quick. See what we've got going on. Let's throw it in reverse. You can see how much quicker that is. That is why I really got this wheel here. Just because you can crank it a lot faster. And it makes it a lot easier to, you know, back in. It's a lot simpler. I used to have some issues not being able to quite do it, but it's a lot easier this way, I would say. And of course, the level of realism is always really awesome. So I'm a big fan of this wheel, as you can probably tell. I'm not good at backing in, as you can probably tell. I feel like we're gonna hit something. How close are we? We are really close. Okay. And at low speeds, there's a lot less of the force feedback, so we can, you know, crank it faster as well. So anyway, we're done. We'll decouple, and that looks like it's going to be it. So there we go. That is our review on the Logitech G920. I'm a big fan of it. It's a lot of fun. It adds a ton of realism, and if you want to check it out, link will be down below. So that is all for this video. Thank you for watching as always. This is Mark with AtTech, and I will see you in the next one.